So for those of you who didn't see my video explaining what the Amazon Associates program is and how it's going to work with this channel, let me do a brief recap on that for a moment. So Amazon has created a program called the Amazon Associates program that helps YouTube creators such as myself in a way to monetize our channel. Because as you probably know, YouTube has become stricter and stricter about what they want to monetize on YouTube for their platform. It's becoming very hard for YouTube creators to make money from their videos the way they used to, or to grow their channels with income the way that they used to. The reason why is they're saying it's not advertiser friendly. Point in case, when you report the subjects that mainstream media doesn't talk about, it's not advertiser friendly. So they won't monetize your videos. So if you do shopping on Amazon, if you make purchases, you go to the link below, you click on it, it takes you to Amazon just like you normally would go to Amazon. You can then search for whatever product it is you wanted to buy, and by making that purchase after clicking on the link, this channel will get a commission of that sale. And it is a great way to help support this channel and help us spread our message and grow this channel so that we can reach more and more people out there. So we thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoy the video. So yesterday I made a video about Tulsi Gabbard taking on The View. More particularly, Joy Behar. I wasn't aware there was more to the exchange. So I did a review on that video, uploaded it, then I kept watching some clips. And what I realized was when they came back from a commercial break, Joy, once again, tried to save face and defend some of her previous comments, igniting even further war of words between the two. Then, a couple of other people on The View tried to get involved in it as well. So, let's just take a look at round 2 of Tulsi versus The View.
I just want to straighten a couple of things out. I've never said, and I don't think Hillary Clinton thinks that you're a witting asset. You might be an unwitting asset. Not that that means you're stupid, but people can be used.
Well, that's exactly what it means, though. That's exactly what it means.
The other thing that confuses me, wait, I have one more question. You're on state TV all the time. Why do you go on Fox TV? Fox channel.
I can't even let it get this far in without taking a pause break. So first of all, do you notice the games Joy's playing right back off the bat in this commercial break? She's doing everything possible to flip this back around into an attack piece on Tulsi. I never said that I thought you were a witting asset to the Russians. And I don't think Hillary Clinton thinks you're a witting asset to the Russians. And that doesn't mean that you're stupid. And then, of course, she's not going to even let Tulsi respond directly to that statement, that she's being used by the Russians unknowingly. She's not going to let Tulsi respond. She immediately then tries to jump into something else, and then Tulsi tries to interject the answer anyway, knowing what game she's playing, and says, well, then that means you are calling me stupid. That's exactly what it means. Oh, but wait a minute. No. Just let me ask you one more question. I'm going to ask you about this and tell you about this. I'm not going to give you a chance to respond. I'm just going to move on to another question. In other words, using a statement or slash question or whatever you want to call what Joy just did, and without allowing Tulsi to respond, using it as a subtle hit piece to Tulsi's face, then trying to roll into the next statement, and I wonder what that statement's going to be.
Which is a propaganda network, 16 times with Tucker Carlson. I never see you with Chris Wallace or that other guy, what's his name, Brett Baer. Well, why aren't you on with them? They're definitely middle of the road. Why do you go on with Tucker, who's a liar and a propagandist?
So let me start with...
First of all, before I attack the next line of attack Joy just used, Fox News is a propaganda news network. I won't argue with you, but by your statement, Joy, I assume you mean ABC is not. Okay. This is the news network that has had to retract how many pretty big stories within the last couple of years? What was the issue that happened maybe a year ago that you got breaking news? Actually, on your show, Joy, you reported this little bit of breaking news, sent the stock market into a tumble, and turned out it was fake news. Without pausing my recording and going and looking it back up to make sure, I know it was during the Mueller investigation. I believe it was Michael Flynn pled guilty or something like that. It was either him or Papadopoulos or something like that. Whatever it was, it turned out to be complete false, sent the stock market into a tumble. And matter of fact, one of your backstage people came out on your program, on The View, gave it to you, and then you, breaking news, breaking news. You were freaking happy as hell, weren't you? Yeah, and it was all fake. Oh, and ABC, again, is also the same news outlet that aired footage of a shooting range and claimed that it was, something going on strike-wise, military-wise from the Middle East. and by the way, I think that shooting range was, where was it, Tennessee, Kentucky, something like that? Yeah. Your credibility is flawless. The Mickey Mouse News Network just does grade A journalism consistently. Remember, this is also the same network Project Veritas just revealed, as I've said in yesterday's video and the day before, to have covered up the Jeffrey Epstein story 3 years ago. 3 years ago when Hillary Clinton was running for president. And now, who are you trying to sit here with all your power on your program to cover up for, make look a little bit better, and keep the attack dog here, not as an insult, but just, I'm using that as a compliment to Tulsi. Because she's taking a big chunk out of a lot of people's ass on these programs. So when I say attack dog, I don't mean it as an insult. She is doing great. Okay? But you're trying to save your beloved Hillary from the damage that Tulsi's doing to her and to you. And now you're trying to frame it that she goes on Fox News, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, I don't think she's mentioned Hannity yet, but weak.
How offensive it is to say that I am a witting or unwitting asset of a foreign country, working against the interests.
Did you see that eye language from Tulsi? She's getting a little frustrated here now. You can tell she's really getting hot under the collar with Joy Behar, and rightfully so, man. I mean, to put your life on the line for your country for 16 years, serve honorably on Capitol Hill, and stand by your convictions. Now, whether you agree with her or disagree with her, you can't say she hasn't been someone that stood by her morals and her convictions. Period. Okay? So, I said the same thing about Trump when all this BS, like or dislike Trump. They've definitely pushed a lot of false stories about this man over the last few years. And I'd be fed up with it if I was him too. So I say the same thing for Tulsi Gabbard here. You have every right to be fed up with it.
Of our people and our country, the country that I am willing to lay my life down for. So if you're saying it's not deliberately, then you are implying
it could be
that I am too stupid and too naive and lack the intelligence to know what I am doing. That is extremely...
Joyce, or Joy. Really, Joy, Could you make your mind up here? Not deliberately. Not deliberately. But it could be. She is constantly trying to interrupt Tulsi. And you notice, again, she won't make eye contact. Body language, people, body language. She won't keep her eyes focused on Tulsi Gabbard for very long because she knows she's spewing out a bunch of bullcrap here. She knows she is carrying out a propaganda hit piece. The very thing she's complaining that Fox News does is exactly what they're doing on this news network right now and doing everything to try and bury Tulsi Gabbard again. They already had one war of words on this exact same show and program during the same episode. And now, after the commercial break, she still comes out, still trying to cover her own ass, and still trying to save their little hit piece on Tulsi Gabbard. And how she tried to frame it. Frame it as, you might just be a Russian asset and you don't know it. And I think that's what Hillary Clinton meant too. She didn't say you were intentionally being a Russian asset. So now she's trying to cover Hillary, cover for herself, and still attack Tulsi by saying you probably are a Russian asset and just don't realize it. And you also cater to the basket of deplorables out there on Tucker Carlson's network, basically, to take Hillary Clinton's old term.
Can I get you to put the quote up?
Every
Can you
woman
guys
of color.
put the quote back up? Because I think everyone has sort of missed something.
What are we missing?
Well, I think what you're missing is that asset had nothing to do with Tulsi. She was talking about Jill Stein.
Actually, her
and
spokesperson confirmed
Wait,
it.
I'm not making it.
Okay, Whoopi. I think the bleach went to your head with your last dye job. What Hillary Clinton said very clearly, you can go back and watch my video from yesterday. They played the clip. You can go watch this clip all over the place and hear the audio of it, okay? She said that the Russians are grooming, in her opinion, someone in the Democratic primary. Now, yes, she later went on to say that Jill Stein was a Russian asset and that they were grooming this person to take over as the third-party candidate, assuming Jill Stein would give it up because she's a Russian asset too. So yes, the only time she used the words Russian asset was with Jill Stein, but the majority of that entire clip was her telling this David Plouffe, or whatever his name is, that she thinks the Russians are currently grooming someone in the Democratic primary to be their candidate. That's why they're throwing all the support behind her and they're conditioning her to run third party. Now, there's only so many hers running for president in the Democratic primary. And one of them in particular seems to kind of have some similarities with Russia's stance about not being involved in Syria and all these foreign interventionist wars, and all signs point to Tulsi Gabbard. It does not make any sense, first of all, for Hillary Clinton to say they're grooming Jill Stein and this person's going to take up the mantle if Jill Stein gives it up to Jill Stein. That is stupid. That you didn't think that through very clearly. The other thing is, okay, why? I'm honestly at a loss for words on this with the ignorance level here. Okay? Honestly, it seems to me now that they are just simply doing everything to create another attack piece out of this by saying, well, she was never even talking about you again in the first place. She was just talking about Jill Stein. And this argument is even weaker than the other argument was. Because she's not going to be talking about Jill Stein and Jill Stein at the same time. And let's also mention, by the way, when she said there's someone in the Democrat Party that they're grooming, Jill Stein is not in the Democrat Party, and she's not running for president in the Democrat Party. So again, you got another problem there, Whoopi. So that whole entire argument, I don't know if Whoopi was trying to be the moderator and bring peace between the two, Or if someone was in her ear in ABC's network telling her, hey, try this gotcha. Joy's getting her ass kicked over here. We need you second stringers to come in and help out here a little bit. Try this. That could have been going on.
They called you a Russian doll.
Her spokesperson confirmed it because some of the media followed up and asked for her spokesperson to say what she meant and confirmed that they were talking about me. So there was no mistaking that.
Right. Okay, well, that's clear.
Well, the quote that we saw, I'm sorry, I just want to point out the quote that we saw wasn't...
Well, they never named her. They never named her.
She's talking, assuming Jill Stein will give it up, but she might not because she's also a Russian asset.
This was...
Because she's also a Russian asset, implying that the first person that I'm talking about is a Russian asset, but Jill Stein is also a Russian asset. Whoopie, you should have moved to Canada after Trump got elected. I mean, seriously? Someone who has this much issue reading simple sentences and breaking down their context has no business being on live television discussing anything.
Right.
After that quote was made, media across spectrums were reporting about what Hillary Clinton just said about Tulsi Gabbard. You raised a second issue about why I go on Fox News.
Yeah.
I go on Tucker Carlson, go on Brett Baier, go on Sean Hannity, go on MSNBC, go on CNN. I am here to speak to every single American in this country about the unifying leadership that I want to bring as president. Not
body language, people. Body language. Did you see that little thing Joy just did? I'm here, when Tulsi said, I'm here to speak to everyone. So yeah, I'll go on Tucker Carlson. I'll go on Sean Hannity. I'll go on Brett Baier. I'll go on Chris Wallace. You know what? She goes on all these different networks. She's not just going on Tucker Carlson. But let's be honest here, people. She probably does prefer to go on Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity because when she goes on their network, on their show, they probably give her a more fair interview, surprisingly enough, considering the difference on the party here and the stances. They're probably giving her a more fair interview than 95% of the other pundits and commentators out there on the news today. Because when you see her go on these other networks, there is constantly a framing and a framework that she is an Assad apologist, a Putin apologist, a Russian asset, a traitor to her country, blah, 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 blah. It happens all the time. But she still goes on those networks. She still goes on your freaking stupid show, where clearly we've just got a bunch of people rattling about nonsense that they really have no idea about whatsoever. One woman who at this point is starting to really look like she could probably be Nancy Pelosi's twin sister up there, the way she keeps sucking her dentures the whole time. Yeah, Joy, I mean, we can all tell you're irritated. Okay? So Tulsi goes on to speak to everyone because Tulsi wants to get her message out to everyone. She is trying to do this the old-fashioned way by getting her message out and bringing everyone, regardless of what party you are, together. She is trying to reach out to everyone. She doesn't want to alienate anyone. But this old bat is sitting here trying to say, oh, no, you need to be, those people aren't worth talking to. Okay, well, how come Hannity and Tucker draw in more ratings than ABC's primetime news shows? They beat yours, they beat CNN's, they beat MSNBC's, they beat CBS, NBC. In other words, they have bigger audiences, Joy. Now, whether that be because they have better news, I guess that'd be up to the viewers. You're all propaganda, period. You're all propaganda. You can't go to any of you and expect to get constant, honest reporting. It's all propaganda. So, if I'm going to go on a propaganda network, well, I could go on the one that has the most viewers and isn't going to try and just smear me and attack me throughout the entire interview. why would I go on one that gets less viewers and would try to attack me? That's just common sense.
Just speak to those who agree with me.
It's nice to think that could happen.
To speak with those who may disagree with me, recognizing that I'm asking for the opportunity to serve every single person in this country. We have to come together for our country and our country's future.
They become outrageous. They lie all the time.
Well,
they just lie.
I think it's...
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you can tell that one didn't set well. I bet she has got daggers for you, ma'am. Wait a minute, Joy. You used to go on Fox and Friends. Oh, well, but they lie. They lie all the time. But they just lie so much. But Joy, you used to go on Fox and Friends. Oh, ancient history. Why are you bringing up old stuff? So freaking hypocritical. That's how you know they're just trying to attack Tulsi.
But I think the reason why so many Republicans respond to you is because you don't treat us like we're garbage. You actually care about the audience and care about reaching out, which to a lot of conservatives, which by the way, you're going to have to win them over to get to the White House one way or another, is important. And I think just negating all of Fox's audience, I called Elizabeth Warren to task on it.
Not their audience. I'm talking about Tucker Carlson right now.
I'm there to speak to the audience.
Two liars.
Wow. Meghan McCain has actually said something that makes sense. Finally, I saw something this woman has said I can agree with. Okay. Kudos to you, Meghan. We finally agree on something here. But then you notice immediately, well, I'm not talking about Fox's audience. I'm talking about the Tucker Carlson audience. Back to old Joy again. First of all, you said Fox as a whole was a propaganda outlet. You did say that during this very clip. Okay, you asked, why does she go on Fox so much? Now, yes, you then narrowed in down to Tucker Carlson and then I think Sean Hannity was brought up later on, but mainly the Tucker Carlson one. Okay. Again, they get the bigger audiences, but she's not hesitant to go on any news network. But you did smear Fox as a whole, and by the way, you used to go on Fox as well, Joy. And the other thing is, yeah, she could go on Brett Baer, she could go on Chris Wallace, but as you said, they're that middle of the road. And what does that mean? That means they're the corporatists. The corporatists who are in bed with the swampy type politicians. They are the more old school establishment, status quo mess. Just listen to their framework and everything. They make the arguments that you would have heard from, George Bush, Mitt Romney. That's the framework people like Brett Baer and Chris Wallace like to use a lot. That's why they attacked Trump so heavily on some of his more populist stances when he ran. So going on their program wouldn't be much different than going on CNN or going on your show, because they're going to frame this whole aside Putin, Russia, Syria, blah, 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 blah. They're going to do the same thing, Joy. That's why. But again, she has shown she's not afraid to go on anybody's network, because she's there in your face calling you out. She's not afraid.
They both have some of the largest audiences on television today. But I do want to ask you something else. Kamala Harris said recently that her race and gender are, quote, the elephant in the room, and that many still question if America is ready for a woman, and specifically a woman of color, to be president. And you're also a woman of color. Yeah. Is that, you feel, been a problem for you? And do you agree with her?
No, I think the American people are ready for a president that will put people ahead of politics, put people ahead of profits.
Then why is she saying that, you think?
You have to ask Kamala that. I can't speak to why she's saying that. But what I've seen in our travels across New Hampshire, we just came from New Hampshire yesterday, across the early states, we have some New Hampshire people here. is we are building a coalition of support that is very diverse. Yes, it crosses party lines. People who are looking out for the best interests of our country, which, by the way, makes me the best candidate to defeat Donald Trump so that we can then begin to do the very important work that begins the morning after to bring about the systemic change we need to see to take our government back from the rich and powerful who control it and make it so our government is truly of, by, and for the people.
So, I didn't want to pause and interrupt again, but just to answer that question, why is Kamala Harris saying all that stuff? Tulsi said you'd have to ask Kamala. I'll answer it. Because Kamala Harris has nothing else to argue position-wise that's going to resonate with the people. She's losing ground. Tulsi exposed her very early on in the debates, and ever since she's been dwindling further and further and further into that toilet, that political toilet for this campaign and this election. Okay? So she's trying to use the old, common, modern Democrat go-to, which is the race card. The race card, the race card, the race card, the race card. I'm a woman of color, and they don't want a woman of color, and all you women need to come out and support me, and anyone that's a minority, you need to get behind me because we all share the same cause here. I'm both, and I'm being held down. That's the only thing she can come up with. So that's why Kamala Harris is saying that first and foremost. But you know, without going into too much detail, I already gave a lot of my opinion on this exchange yesterday. But after finding this clip, I said, you know what? I've got to say something else about this again because this is absolutely ridiculous. You know that they came back from a commercial break and continued it. And once again, Tulsi held her ground, stood firm, stood strong, kept taking it to him. I'm telling you, man, she's in this 100% now. The gloves came off when she got in the race. The brass knucks are on now. She's going to fight with everything she's got because she's not running for re-election for her congressional seat in Hawaii. So it's, you know, she is all in on the deal now. So all you pundits out there that want to keep spreading the propaganda, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again today. You had best be careful. Be very, very careful. Because here's what's going to happen if you keep spreading this stuff and letting her on her network. She's going to slap you all around and make you all look freaking stupid. Slap my microphone in the process. But she's going to make you all look like ass clowns if you keep this up. Pure and simple. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that you saw or are maybe continuing to see just how corrupt these news outlets are and just how desperate they are to keep voices like Tulsi or Andrew Yang or whoever down in this Democrat primary so that their establishment candidates go all the way and one of them will get that nomination. That's what their goal is, and the people need to start letting their voices be heard that they are tired of this same old status quo crap. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Independent Report. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and like the video. Also, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to ask or topics you'd like us to cover, please drop a comment in the comment box below. And also, please subscribe to the channel, and if you do subscribe, ring that bell so you'll stay up to date when we drop new videos and you'll get notifications of it. And also, please support us on Patreon. Funds are going to be used to grow and improve this channel so we can reach more and more people and spread the message that the mainstream media doesn't want to tell people. We hope you'll tune in next time.